Have you ever wondered, most of the content that you see on internet is in English. What strikes me the most, even after studying from English medium schools, all of us, we fail to answer these questions. How old is English language? Whose language is it? Is Old English same as modern English? Let's find out the history of English. The piece of land what we call Britain was ruled by Roman Empire at that time. They ruled almost for 400 years, and 410, which is approximately 1600 years ago, Roman Empire faced downfall and they were evacuating the place. They were leaving Britain, and taking advantage of this opportune moment, Picts and Scots that were neighboring countries to Britain, they attacked Britain. These barbarians, the wild and savage people of Picts and Scots, they posed a threat to Britain. It is also said that Romano-British king wrote to their higher command. He said that the barbarians drive us to the sea. The sea throws us back on the barbarians. Thus, two modes of death await us. We are either slain or drowned. So the king was forced to trust two brothers from Jutland, which is Jutes. Basically, this is we are talking about northern part of Germany, where we had Angles, Saxons and Jutish people. So they came to Britain to protect Britain from Scots and Picts. And this is called mercenary soldiers. Mercenary are basically those hired soldiers from overseas to protect your native lands. And no doubt, these Jutish brothers, Hengist and Horsa, they defeated Picts with their army. And that's how Kingdom of Kent was set up, where Jutes used to stay. And with time, they also called their brothers, Anglo Saxon. All, the raiders came. And it was like you are giving, you are making wolves enter into a sheepfold. In simple words, cats guarding milk. And Anglo-Saxons, Jutes, no need to mention, they took the territories of Britain and basically they invaded and they betrayed their Romano-British ancestors. And the language that Anglo-Saxons spoke at that time, which was a Germanic dialect. Why Germanic dialect? Because their territories, their actual native place was above this north of Germany and near to the Denmark. So their Germanic dialect came to be known as Old English. And by the way, my friends, Old English is just a concept 200 years old. We use it for academic purpose. Otherwise, the right term would be Anglo-Saxon language. Their women baked bread, made cheese, they brewed their own beer. And in Anglo-Saxon time, it was the task of male members to cook meat, whatever they procured. And women in their times, no matter of their social standard, they served drinks to men. Reminds me of the boys meme. The king was known as chieftain. Their favorite drink was mead, which had a higher alcohol content with honey in it. But largely they were pagan. Paganism is they followed their own war gods. And then in 597 AD, they were converted to Christianity by Saint Augustine, who was sent to Britain by the Roman Pope, who was Pope Gregory. And in history, my friends, this was the first recorded large scale, conversion of people to Christianity. And you will be amazed to know how Old English sounds like. I'll read one of their texts, very famous text, Beowulf, at that time, epic poem. I'll read these lines, what you think as English. If you were a German, you would be, it would have been easier for you to understand. So I'll read this text for you. Huet vegardina in yardagam, feud kaninga frim gefrunon, hu tha thalingis elin fremadon. So now you understand Old English is quite different from modern English. Okay, like, you know, the Germanic words were added in it because of these Anglo-Saxons. Latin words were added in it because of Roman. So Anglo-Saxons at the time were very powerful. They set up 7 kingdoms. As you can see in the map, Essex, Kent, Sussex, Mercia, East Anglia, Northumbria, Wessex. And can you see Wessex in west, Essex in east, Sussex in south? But good days, my friend, don't last long, as we all know. In the later part of 8th century, people of Denmark, Norway, Sweden, collectively known as Scandinavia. So Scandinavians were preparing to attack Britain and, you know, to invade Britain and wipe off Anglo-Saxon tribe. So whatever you read in books now, this Northmen, Norsemen is nothing but same, all same. Norman is short form of Northmen. Norse, Old Norse was their language. And like this Germanic dialect was an old ancestor of Old English, similarly Old Norse was an ancestor to this Swedish, Norwegian and Danish language. And you would be amazed that when Vikings, these Scandinavians, Northmen, when they attacked Britain, half of the Britain was captured by them. To be specific, in 870, East Anglia fell to Danish invaders. In 874, Mercia fell, and just in 1 year, 875, Northumbria was seized. And only Wessex was the remaining kingdom under Anglo-Saxon authority, and that too was under the leadership of King Alfred the Great. And this Danelaw, what you can see, was the territory of Vikings, the Danish people. Many battles were fought between Anglo-Saxons and Vikings, and in 1950 AD, my friends, Anglo-Saxons took over all their lost territories and united it as England in 950 AD. But as I said, good things don't last long. I want to take you back in the story. Do you remember when Viking invaders came in 793? You know, they took half of this Britain. You know, not all Viking invaders came to Britain. Some of them went to France as well. Okay, so they set up Normandy there. Normandy is nothing but, you know, territory of Northmen, Normandy. In 1066, Normans attack Britain again. Why? Because they saw that their brothers were, you know, expelled out. And in this battle, which was fought at Hastings is at the coastline of England, the Norman king wins this battle against the English king. And the interesting fact is, these Norman are not Vikings, the old savage people. When they stayed in France, in Normandy, they actually accepted the French culture. They thought that French is quite superior, you know. So they abandoned their own. So they are French people now, okay, who invaded England in 1066. These are, you know, they were Normans, but they have turned French. So from 1066, the King of England was also the King of France, that is Normandy and all, right? And it's amazing that, you know, English is a language which has borrowed words. You can see 29% from French because of the Norman thing I told you, right? And 26% from Germanic, which is Anglo-Saxons, 6% from Greek, 6% from others, Sanskrit and others, okay. Latin is 29% because of Romans. And you can memorize this timeline. And my friends, that's the surprise. Tell me if you really like this video. I'll make a final part 2nd of Anglo-Saxon Age. So my friends, this was the history of English language, English people. Effortless performance के लिए दोस्तों बहुत effort डालना पड़ता है. Don't forget to tell me your views about this topic. My only quest and main mission is to give you the best content available on internet on this channel. So don't forget to subscribe and hit the bell icon for that updates. I'll see you in the next video. Tada!